Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, today is December the 16th. This is the big mad Friday before Christmas. This is when everyone goes out on their do's, their parties. Kilt-Man here has not one but two parties to go to. Two! One of them he really wants to go to because it's with a bunch of people that I haven't seen for almost 3 years. A big wet crowd of people. And because of different circumstances and working from home and all that kind of palaver, we haven't actually got together for so long. So this would have been a great occasion. And even though there's still snow and ice around and it's still freezing, it's still bastard freezing out there, I can't go. Mainly because the trains are off. The trains are on strike. Oh, fucking typical, isn't it? I understand if you're going to go on strike, you want it to have a bit of an impact, to have some resonance. And when the rail companies go out on strike, that's massive disruption. So it works, obviously. And, you know, I'm not against the principle of them going out on strike. And, of course, the timing has maximum impact. People are going out shopping. They can't do shopping trips. This isn't just round here. This is nationwide, all this. It's causing disruption aplenty. People can't get home for Christmas. They can't do that. Poor Chris Rea. He's driving home for Christmas. It's easier. Even with the black ice across the motorways. And be careful, Chris. Be careful. So I'm not going to go. Now, the thing is, the trains are off. Yeah, they're on strike. But there are buses. But our buses are deplorable. It'd be easier getting a train, even though they're on strike, than getting a bus. Getting there is not the problem. It's getting back is the issue. So, I mean, I've spent many Christmas dues where I've missed the last train home and then there's been no buses and you can't afford a taxi. The queues for taxis are like 50,000 strong. You know, you get charged way over the odds anyway, so don't do that. So I've spent many of the Mad Friday Christmas dues. I've ended up with me sleeping rough in a shop doorway, or my favourite horns under a hedge in St Nick's churchyard at the pier head. Yeah, wonderful. I'm way too old for that shit now. My body won't take that kind of punishment anymore. Especially after like nigh on 12, maybe 14 hours of solid whiskey drinking and dancing and bopping away. Not a good idea. So, gonna have to veto that one, I'm afraid. But there is another do I can go to, which is a bit closer to home. Because the problem is, I'm not on the Liverpool side of the Mersey. I'm on the other side, on the Wirral Peninsula, which is why the buses are a bit of a nightmare getting to and from town itself. So anyone on that side, they can still get there. They still get taxis home relatively easily. But even so, most have said like, oh, won't be out for long. Just gonna have the meal, then really kind of get off. But I'm the kind of person that, you know, if I'm there, okay, you might be going off, but I'll just have one more drink. I'll just go down Matthew Street. I'll just go clubbing it a little bit because all the party atmosphere and everyone's out and like woo, and there's the guy in the vest and the kilt. Look at him, even in the freezing cold weather. Look, he's amazing. I want to get a picture with him. And next thing, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I am literally like McCready at the end of the thing, only I'm not wrapped up anywhere near as well. Anyway, so there's a do on this side. I might go to that. But so this video really is not to reflect upon the lack of bon ami and Christmas sort of joie de vivre. No. It's a bit of movie news. Okay, first and foremost, because people have been messaging me about these things. The DC, is it extended universe? The DC expanded universe, whatever the hell they call it. James Gunn and the other guy have took over now, haven't they? And with Warners and all this bullshit. And Henry Cavill was in again as Superman, and now he's out again as Superman. Oh dearie. I'm not worried. I like Man of Steel, apart from the protracted destruction at the end, which is really wanton, just ridiculousn's. But I did enjoy Man of Steel. However, I hated with a vengeance Batman vs Superman. I think it's fucking awful. And I fucking hate Justice League. I basically hate Zack Snyder. And yet he did one of my favourite films of recent times. 300. My God. How the mighty fall. But give him superheroes. And oh, God. You bring down someone like the Man of Steel, Superman, who is the big boy scout, uplifting, optimistic. And you made him dead serious and miserable. Oh, Jesus. And Batman already is serious and miserable most of the time. But you made him even worse. Oh, dear God. Absolute drudgery. I know. There's many, many fans of the Snyderverse. And you're welcome to him. But he's out as well. That's it. Gone. And but in so doing, they've eradicated Henry Cavill, who is a great actor. I do like Henry Cavill. And I think he looks great. And The Witcher. You see now, here's another thing. I loved The Witcher Season 1. I got my head around the different timelines and all that, but other people weren't managing to do that quite so successfully. But I did. And I enjoyed it. I couldn't wait for Season 2. Season 2 came, and I think I got 4 episodes in. And then suddenly I forgot to watch the next episode. Oh, I've got to get back to that. And my son was saying, like, it's good. It picks up. You've got to see it. Well, to this day, I haven't finished Season 2 of The Witcher. I just couldn't get around to it. I just wasn't bothered. It wasn't that I was bored by it. I clearly wasn't hooked enough to carry on with it. So it never happened. And nor will it happen now. And he's out as The Witcher. Poor old Henry Cavill. What's going on there? So it all came out in tweets, didn't it? And he's no longer, after being the big thing, I'm coming back as Superman. And you had Black Adam. What a tear of a film that is, by the way. Oh, God almighty. Sweet Jesus. Dwayne Johnson, I do like the guy, but God, it was awful, awful. Redeemed only slightly by the heavily leaked, but the post-credit bits where emerging out of this mystical fog and mist was Henry Cavill as Superman. Black Adam, I think we need to talk. And everyone like, "Wah! Superman's back, it's Henry Cavill." What? He's out? Oh, but what did... So you're going to recast Superman now. Am I that bothered? Not really. Do I really pity Henry Cavill? A little bit, because, you make a big statement, you're coming back, and then, oh, you're not, you're out. Oh, shit. Rug pulled from under. But it's a good-looking guy. He can get really massively in shape. He can play any heroic role he wants to. And he will be over there somewhere behind that skull there is the poster for Highlander. And he will be playing Connor McLeod in the reboot of Highlander. And I've talked about this a lot before. Highlander is a great, firm favourite of mine, but it's still a badly flawed movie at the same time. It's immensely enjoyable, but the story has got a lot of elements which didn't really hang together. It got away with it because it was just, wow, it just blew you away. It was, crazy visuals, great music, great soundtrack. You got Queen there, you got Michael Mann's score, you got swordplay, you've got 15th century Scottish Highland fantasticness, and you've got Sean Connery there playing an Egyptian Spaniard called Juan Ramirez, and you've got Clancy Brown as the Kurgan. And I've covered it a lot, the swords and everything about it. But it does. I can understand a reboot, or just a remake, a continuation. However they're going to do it, I don't know. But Henry Cavill is in there as Connor McLeod. I don't mind that at all. So, and there's still talk that he could be the next James Bond. That's still in there. So maybe he could end up on his feet anyway. But I don't think we need to worry too much about poor old Henry Cavill, just because he's not going to be Supes anymore. He's not Super the Day. But that's that. What else have we got? Patty Jenkins is apparently out, so Wonder Woman 3 will not be down to her. Do I care? No, not a jot. I loved the initial Wonder Woman. I loved Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I thought the first film was amazingly great, good fun, with a bit of darkness to it, some great visuals, and I thought she was outstanding. I really bigged that movie up. Loved it, reviewed it, discussed it a lot. And then bigged up and really sung the praises before I'd seen it of Wonder Woman 2. And then I saw it. That was the year that I think only 3 or 4 people ever went to cinema. and I was one of them. And it was to watch Wonder Woman 2. What a pile of shit. Unbelievably bad movie. So bad, in fact, that and I hate to say this, and I don't want to be the one that ever does this, because I've always said, just because further movies in a franchise are so bad, they don't detract from the original movie. Like, any Halloween sequel that I ever see is never going to ruin Halloween 1978 for me. Never. No matter how many crappy Jaws remakes there are, and there's 2 crap Jaws remakes, but one fantastic remake. Jaws 2 is awesome. I've covered it. You guys know it. But no matter what they did, Bruce the Shark-wise afterwards, it's never going to detract from the masterpiece that is Jaws. Any Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, if Dial of Destiny is going to be an absolute complete clusterfuck of a film, like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it does not eradicate anything or tarnish at all Raiders or Temple of Doom or Last Crusade at all. But having said all that, Wonder Woman 2 left such a bad taste in my mouth and a really bad attitude to the makers and everyone involved in it that I can safely say I'll never watch Wonder Woman again, the first one. And I loved it. Now, I know. Oh, that's just ridiculous hyperbole. You're just a YouTuber saying all this stuff. I mean it. You guys know me. I'm heart on the sleeve. I'm very open, opinionated. But, I don't say things for shock value. I will never watch Wonder Woman again. Never. And apparently, Patty Jenkins is out. Gal Gadot is out as well. So, this is what I've heard. So, people have been telling me. But do I care? No, not one jot, not one iota. I don't give 2 shits about Wonder Woman anymore. I don't. Unless she comes knocking at my door, obviously, with her lasso of truth. Did you say you didn't like Wonder Woman 2? No, I said it was great. Whoosh. Did you say you'd never cheat on your wife, Mrs. Kilt-Man, even with Wonder Woman? Actually, no, I never did say that, no. never said it wouldn't. But anyway, what else have we got? There is still talk of the Escape from Earth, the Escape from New York, Snake Plissken continuation. That apparently is now in a bit further into development, but we still don't know who's playing Snake. Is Kurt Russell coming back? We don't know. And I'm all for it if Kurt comes back for one final outing. I've really talked about that a lot and its potential. So, okay. There's no real news there. But in other remake news, now get on this one, folks. You may have noticed behind there is The Keep, F. Paul Wilson's phenomenal novel, The Keep. Also, I've got F. Paul Wilson's equally, if not more phenomenal book, The Tomb. F. Paul Wilson would go on to these 2 central ideas of the old ancient evil and various characters who their own stories and things intertwine in later books. I'm not a fan of that, but those 2 books as standalones are absolute masterpieces. Horror, action, suspense, great characters, really clever, inspired writing. Love them to bits. Michael Mann in '83 released his version, his adaptation of The Keep. And that I've done 2 huge videos on The Keep. In fact, I'll put the link down below to both those videos, which is a huge dissection of what those movies are, what that movie is. And that movie is a badly flawed, again, cult masterpiece. It may be very, very badly flawed, and Michael Mann, the great Michael Mann, his film was then butchered behind his back. Some things weren't completed, effects weren't completed. The version that he wanted to put out there can never be put out there. There's still a massive, huge fan base saying, and a big sort of, what you call it, when everyone signs everything, a big proclamation, or whatever you call it, to petition, that's it, to get his version released. Well, he said his version does not exist. He didn't complete the film. The bits, the little bits which you can see online, they're not completed. And if you put them back in and then even revamp the effects, hyper jazzed it up, with the way technology is today, it still wouldn't work because there's still elements which he never got to film. So his full vision, you're never going to get that. You might get that big documentary charting the making and the trials and tribulations of Michael Mann's adaptation of The Keep. You might get that. There's a big petition to get that done. and a big sort of Kickstarter campaign, which was going for years. I've not heard anything about that now, whether that's ever coming to fruition. Someone's going to go, it's coming out. I hope it does, because I do love the Keep. Tangerine Dream's elusive, fantastic score. You're hearing it now. And the full version's never actually been officially released, although I have all of it. Not sure where I got that from, but I have it anyway. So it's getting remade in a more supposedly faithful adaptation to F. Paul Wilson's novel. Now, it's F. Paul Wilson himself that tweeted this. And he said, it's coming, it's happening, and guess who's doing it? And it is Greg Nicotero. Greg Nicotero, you say? Do you mean Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead fame? I do. Greg Nicotero, who's also the N in KNB, who were an 80s effects house that worked on so many great movies. Big 80s effects, prosthetics and latex and air bladders and gore and change-o heads and all that kind of stuff. He is one of the great movers and shakers of The Walking Dead. He directs it, he produces it. I'm pretty certain he's written some of it as well. I think so. Someone might correct me on that. But he's been big in the history of The Walking Dead. And I trust him. I think he seemingly wants to come out with the more faithful adaptation to the original novel. Germans invade a little Transylvanian town. Transylvania, it's in Romania. And they find an old castle keep with all crosses, silver crosses embedded in the walls. Germans try to prize these crosses out, and they unleash a demon, a monstrosity that's been imprisoned within the keep for eons. And but during the Second World War, the Germans are persecuting Jews, of course, and but this monster called Molosar, in the movie he's just called Molosar. He pretends to be the big Jewish war god come back to avenge the Jewish people against the Nazis. And so Ian McKellen he's a decrepit, he's much younger in those days, he's playing an old decrepit Theodore Kuza, an esoteric, illiterate scientist and historian, and the Nazis bring him in to try and decipher these cryptic sort of messages and warnings on the walls and all that, and what's really happening. But Molosar pretends to be this Jewish avenger, like Gollum, the Golem, not Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But he's not. In the book, it's made clear he's posing as that. His name's actually reversed, and his name should be Rassilon, not Molosar, it's Rassilon. And he is an ancient evil. And of course, if you've got ancient evil, you've got ancient heroism. And an ancient hero is awakened once his arch rival, his enemy, is suddenly awakened. He awakens too, so he comes back, final duel. The film does put this across, although you don't get the alias that he's actually Rassilon. It's just Molosar. But the broad notes are still there. But it still misses out a hell of a lot. And it misses out a lot of the killings and the... because he's posing as a vampire, really. And it is a genuinely terrifying story. And you feel for some of the Germans, the German Wehrmacht, the actual German army, but when the SS arrive under Sterbenführer Kämpfer in the film played by, from Miller's Crossing and from End of Days and from Usual Suspects. Forgot his name. Typical, but it's great anyway in it. And it's Jürgen Prochnow, who is German, playing the Captain Vermin, whose men are being taken out one by one by the mysterious escaped demon. But the film has all these elements, but it glosses over a lot of it as well. And it's more like an 80s pop video in style and effects. So it needs to be redone. And I've never denounced that. I've always said we need a faithful adaptation of F. Paul Wilson's novel. And it looks like now we're going to get this. So that is, yes, great news. I wonder who they get to score it. Would they bring back Tangerine Dream or the members of Tangerine Dream who still do the stuff? I don't know. Or would it be Hans Zimmer? Yeah. Or would it be Bear McCreary? McCreary and Greg Nicotero have worked extensively together on The Walking Dead, and that would not be a bad thing. So this is early days. It's only just been announced by the author himself. I haven't heard anything other from anybody else. So, but let's keep our pinkies crossed, shall we? In other news, what is it? Oh yeah, Avatar, The Way of Water. It's just, the waters have broke. And, well, when did he do Avatar? The original one, was it 2009? And he's done nothing since then, apart from wait for technology to catch up with his own ideas. This is James Cameron, of course. The wonderkind of James Cameron. You know, the king of the world. Terminator, awesome. Terminator 2, awesome. Aliens, awesome. The Abyss, yeah, really good. What was that other one with Arnie? Oh, True Lies. Yeah, I don't know. I like bits of it, but not massively a fan of it, no. I haven't seen it for a good couple of decades, I don't think. Titanic. I do like Titanic. Yes, I've said it. I like Titanic. I think it's great. The effects are wonderful. The emotion's great. James Horner score. Awesomeness. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the Titanic. I don't exactly watch it often. Because you know how it ends. There's no real suspense there, is there? No, it's a great movie. Avatar, though, when that came out, yeah, I was, it's sci-fi, it's another world. It's pushing 3D technology, and the CG is going to be amazing, it's going to be immersive, it's going to be on the world of Pandora, with the space smurfs and all that. I was really, really let down by Avatar. I thought it looked great, it was dreamy, wonderful, sublime, visually splendid, but story-wise, cack-handed, heavy-handed, and a pure, just diluted, watered-down version of Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas, and Ferngully, and all that kind of stuff. Look, I can't talk about Avatar without bringing up all those. Everyone hates it. What always brings up Dances with Wolves? It is Dances with Wolves. It's the exact same fucking story. It is. Cameron isn't a great storyteller. He's a great visual artist, and he's a great director of action. But I'm taking nothing away from that. But story-wise, dialogue-wise, Avatar is absolute pants. Pants. Now, so Avatar, Way of Water has arrived. And now I'm going to lose some people here because I've seen half of it. How? Did you go to cinema and watch half of it and then walk out? No, I didn't, because I had no intention of going to cinema to watch Avatar: Way of Water, because I know what I've let myself in for. I'm not going to sit for over 3 hours 20 minutes with 3D goggles on my head in the cinema. I can do that at home, but I'm not doing it in the cinema. I don't even want to. I'm very selective now about the over 3 hour long movies that I sit through, because look. I like toilet breaks, I like to go to the bar, I like to have a drink. I don't want to miss the film, but at home I can watch that in the luxury of my own home, and I can pause it, come back, do whatever. I can take the dog for a walk, I can go to the pub, and then come back and carry on watching it again. Can't do that at cinema. So I will pick and choose the big, long, epic movies that I want to watch at the cinema. But I did begin to watch it on one of those nefarious little sites in really good quality. Clearly not high frame rates and full UHD and and 3D obviously, but the picture was bloody good. And to watch an Avatar movie bereft of the Emperor's clothes of the 3D, and by the way, the high frame rate, if you like looking at a film which looks more like a TV soap opera, if that's what you like, okay, I'm not really that into it. I don't mind things going to IMAX and, oh God, and all this. And I love 3D as well. I love 3D. And, Cameron can really work with 3D. But this was a way of watching it without all the icing on the cake, without all the tech, the visual tech, but looking at the film itself as a story. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. Story, schmory. It was Jackanory. But without the narrative flow, it was boring. I can't believe how boring it was. Yes, visually splendid. Yes, the effects look wonderful. Gadgetry. Oh, wow. Oh, Pandora. And now the effects and the big sort of Pandoran whale thing. I don't know what it is. But these people, the Na'vi and all that, the tree huggers and then the seafaring folk. Look, again, as I said at the start, this is not hyperbole. This is not me going like, shock verdict. No, I'm not even saying don't go and watch it. I can't review the film. I only watched half of it, and I couldn't watch any more. Did I watch half of it? Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I just thought I can't put up with this. Do I intend to return to it? And yes, I'd missed most of the action. I've missed all the big battle at the end. But who cares? I didn't give one toss about any character, whether they blue, human, fucking whatever, riding around in big power suits. I didn't care. The story was absolutely boring, banal, and bland. A whole lot of bees there which you don't want. I don't care about the characters. It was insipid, boring. Is it Stephen Franklin's score, which is taking all the ideas of James Horner's score for Avatar? Again, I didn't really notice anything. And I love my film scores. I love James Horner's score for Avatar. But I didn't really notice anything particularly fancy here and ear-catching. So I wasn't invested in it at all. I certainly will not go to Flix to see it. Jesus Christ. This film has got to make back X amount of billions in the next 24 hours to try to recoup what it costs to make it. Is it going to do it? I don't know. Do I care? No, I don't care. James Cameron, as far as I'm concerned, you are a great filmmaker, but you've just wasted, what was it, 2009, the first one came out, and it's 2022 now. You've wasted all that time. All of that time when you could have been making other movies and honing your craft as an actual storyteller with the actual proper writing process of it and great characters. But no, you've unleashed exactly the same thing that we got back then. I can't even say that it's mind-blowing effects-wise. It might be with the 3D might be even better. Oh, the lush visuals of this. Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. It does look good, and I did watch it on a big screen. I watched it on a 75-inch screen, and it looked tremendous. But if you're not invested in it, what's the point? All that kind of dressing is just dressing. Could have substance there as well. Could have some meat to it. Bit of flavour, bit of juice. Nothing. Absolutely dry. Dry as the husk of a dinosaur's backside. No, but that said, this is not a verdict. The film could actually get a hell of a lot better. It could do. But I don't care. I'm not going to watch the rest of it. Oh God, you've missed this is the action. Oh my God, it's so exciting. I've actually heard that it's not that exciting. And I had people telling me already, well, they gave their verdicts. And I thought, well, that's kind of broadly what I expected. But I'm still going to give it the time of day. But no, I ran out of time for it, so I couldn't give it the full appreciation, and nor am I going to. So you're not going to hear a full review of Avatar: The Way of Water from me. I've said I've watched half of it and I did not like it at all. You guys go watch it and then tell me, oh, you're an idiot, you should watch it. I know, but I'm older now. I know what I want to see. There's many things I'm looking forward to watching, many things, be they on the small screen or on the big screen. And I will really give it my all for those. And if I don't like them, I'll tell you. And if I'm bored of them, I'll tell you. If I love them, I'll tell you. But Avatar: The Way of Water. If I could not get through it without having to sit at a button on my thumb at the Flix, sitting there trying to get comfortable, like one button to the other. Oh God, too old for that shit now. But if I couldn't even do that at home, where it was comfortable and it was warm and I had whiskey and everything was great, and I wasn't being jaundiced. I've heard some bad stuff about it, but I've also heard people who love it too. So I'll give it. I'll go in open-minded. But my mind was put to sleep by really terrible storytelling and characters that I just couldn't get behind in the least. I wasn't invested in the characters in Avatar, the first one, either. So, really, I suppose what I'm saying is, if you love Avatar, the original, then you're going to love this. But it's just the same. It's just the same, just with a different setting, a different locale. Now we're going through a different element. Now it's water. The fucking story's the same. And too many kids. Too many little... Oh, God. And there's a bit of a Mad Max too. Emil Minty as the feral kid. You've got one of them as well. Oh. Didn't work for me. Let's go back to playing the main theme from The Keep. Tangerine Dream. This is great. It's really atmospheric. I love this. And what I will say about the opening of Michael Mann's version, where the Germans are arriving in the rain-sodden Transylvanian forests, the Dinu Pass, where this keep is located, and the beleaguered village, their haunted village in the thrall of this keep. As they arrive, it is exactly visually what, when I was reading F. Paul Wilson's novel, it's exactly how I visualised it, the Germans' arrival there and the setting. So Michael Mann really captured that superbly. And even the music as well, the build, that relentless beat. A lot of people don't like Tangerine Dream. A lot of scores and movies and music that they've produced, I've not loved that much. There might be elements like main themes I've liked, but a lot of it's long passages, and it's atmospheric, it's hypnotic, it's mesmerising, all things that I love, but sometimes they haven't worked in that capacity for me. However, this score does, and it is dreamy, it is mysterious, it's dark, and yet also there's a flickering of heroism. For like Scott Glenn's character of Glaken Trishnadartus, who is the age-old adversary for Molasar. It's brilliant. Oh, something else I meant to mention as well, because a lot of talk of Conan being rebooted, and well, is Arnie coming back to do King Conan? Well, I fucking hope so. And only published in October this year, so only a couple of months ago, is this. Now, I only got this yesterday. I'm a massive Conan fan, but I did get this. Only just. It's the first Conan novel, new novel, written in over 10 years. And it's Robert E. Howard's original Conan character, of course. Conan the Cimmerian. And it's written by S.M. Sterling, who I know the name, but I looked on the back and I thought, I had a few of the books that they've written, and I didn't know any of them at all. So, do I know this author or not? And it's called Blood of the Serpent. Shut up for a second. Blood of the Serpent, an original novel by New York Times best-selling author S.M. Sterling, illustrated by Roberto de la Torre. They're just little black and white sort of chapter imagery of Conan, and sort of miniature pictures of Conan. But this book is a prelude to Red Nails by Robert E. Howard, which is the last Conan novella that he wrote about Conan. And it's Conan and colon. That's a shit story, that one. It's Conan and Valeria, and it's a great tale, and it's in here as well as a little bonus feature. They've got the original story of Red Nails in there, and this story bleeds into that. And yeah, I can't wait to. I haven't even started it yet, so again, isn't that terrible? I haven't watched all of Avatar: The Way of Water, and I'm going, it's crap. Don't bother with it. And I haven't read any of this yet, and I'm going, it's great. Get this. God, I'm all over this show, aren't I, with these things? But it looks great, doesn't it? And the way the font as well, Conan. And there's the Atlantean sword with a serpent wrapped around it. Conan and snakes. It's like Indiana Jones and snakes. You just can't keep away from them. And it's set, and it's snake cults and all this. But it's him and Valeria going on another adventure. And yeah, can't wait for that. So, Conan, Blood of the Serpent. Looking forward to it. So I recommend that if you're a Conan fan. And I definitely recommend The Keep, F. Paul Wilson's novel. Still highly popular now, still very resonant, still people love it, people discovering it, it's great. And I definitely recommend The Tomb. Wow, that is a great, fantastic story with a wonderful finale as well, which I can't go into, but there's a hint of, the Thing from another world, the Thing with McCready and Childs at the end. Are they going to make it? They're our heroes. Well, one's a hero. Can we trust him? And the ending of that is, well, he's done his heroism, but is he going to make it? Is anyone going to get there to him in time? It's brilliant. But you've got these demons from ancient Indian mythology, and there's a brother-sister angle, and it's wonderful. And the great character of Repairman Jack. Wonderful. Recommend it wholeheartedly. The characters from The Keep and this will eventually combine in other novels, because F. Paul Wilson then went on to sort of expand all this and then kind of make it all go together. Kind of like a Marvel or a DC movie where they're just shoehorning in characters to elongate their own cinematic mythology. And he did it in literary form as well. And to be honest, I didn't like the books that followed on at all. But those two, fantastic. Love them. So there you go, folks. We've covered Avatar. Henry Cavill, out. Who's in for Superman? Who knows? Who cares? Wonder Woman, out. So what? The Keep remake, Escape from Earth. So there's a lot going on. Parties, Christmas time, Mad Friday. Somehow or other, this guy's still going to get out the boot and swilling and hoedown and, mess about. I fully intend to. So, folks, have a good one. I'll catch you on the flip side of Mad Friday. And in the meantime, in this ever bastard freezing in between time, please keep it kilted, and I'm going to see you all. Oh yeah. Laters! Ho ho ho. Avatar. Blue people. Just bleh, bleh. All those years of tech and you come out with the same fucking movie. Jesus.